Hey everybody, Scott from Arch City Seal Coating here. Happy 2025 season. Getting ready to get things kicked off. Gonna really try and start putting out some more content this year. And first one is one of my favorite tech tips, and that is using a tote. No, not to store and haul around sealer, but to use a tote for storing cold mix asphalt. So I'm going to run you through the process of what I do with these totes to make it for that purpose, and hopefully this will help you out. Okay, so first thing you do, find yourself a tote. The cleaner the better, but it doesn't have to be, because it's going to get pretty gnarly pretty fast anyway. This one actually has a good working valve. I'm going to eventually take that off because I don't need a valve. But what we're going to do is we're going to chop the top of this thing off. We're going to heat up and fold the plastic liner over the edges so we don't get caught on any of the sharp edges. And then that's going to be our storage tote. The local asphalt plant near me will actually load this in and out of the bed of my truck with a forklift, run it over to the pile, load it up, and then drop it right back in the bed of my truck. Put a tarp over it, and it keeps for months and months, and it's always handy and always ready to use. So let's get started. All right, step one, get the cage off the top. All right, next I'm gonna trim this front down one section so it creates kind of like a loading lip to be able to be easier to shovel in and out. So let's get going on that. And there's that. All right, now we're going to trim the top out of the plastic tote, and we're going to leave some of the edge because we're going to take a torch, heat that up and bend it over so it'll kind of protect the sharp edges. And there we go. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. You'll have to excuse the wind. I'm just gonna try and drain it here a little bit, but all I'm doing is taking a torch. Just gonna heat the plastic up, turn it over. We'll do that a couple of times, and once it cools, it'll hold its shape. All right, there you have it. I'll trim it up a little bit nicer later, but right now I'm going to go pick up some material. Now, obvious disclaimers and safety warnings. Eye protection, gloves, stuff like that. You're cutting, metals flying, sparks, stuff like that. The biggest thing you need to pay attention of, it doesn't matter what size tote you get. You can get the 225 gallons or the 300 or 400, whatever size works for you. You don't need a valve that works or anything else. But do please be mindful of what was in the tote previously. Because when you start taking a torch to the plastic to melt the sides over, obviously you don't want a tote that was used to carry something flammable. So be safe, guys. And I'm gonna go pick up some material. Have a great day. All right, made it to the plant. About to get loaded up with some bulk Easy Street Ambient. Get some work done. All right, there you have it. One tote with bulk patch material in it. That's basically the process how you make one of those. It's a great way to store material, carry it around with you, throw a tarp over it. It'll be good for months. One last thing to keep in mind, you probably do want to check with your material supplier, your local plant, and let them know about this tote thing that you're going to try and do, and make sure that they have the equipment and are willing to entertain, for lack of a better word, the idea of selling material this way. Some plants might be all for it, like mine. Others will probably shake their head, and they might tell you to kick rocks. But I hope this helps some of you, and if you ever have any questions, as always, just reach out. Always happy to help. Take care, everybody. Bye.